Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 204th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and those sexy legends over at Audio Technica. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere, Brendan 8bit. And joining me today, the swanton bomb to my twist of fate. We're talking about Miss Ellie Hart. You can find her at Miss Ellie Hart. How you doing today, Miss Ellie Hart?
I'm doing good. That was really, really good, actually. I was curious. I'm like, what have we talked about that he's going to reference in the intro? And yeah, our pretty in-depth conversation about the Hardy Boys before we started. That was perfect.
Oh, yeah. They are, they're both very near and dear to both our hearts. Yeah. I think the old Hardy Boys are very, very key cogs in our wrestling DNA, and it's surprising to see them still wrestling. It's surprising to see Jeff Hardy still alive, to be honest.
Like,
don't mean to be mean, but like, he's been on a pretty dark path since maybe early adulthood. So it's good to see him still kicking, and hopefully he's kicked the drug addictions. But yeah, that's enough for that deep dark discussion about them Hardy Boys.
Got that fast.
Yeah, but what you been doing?
Oh man, like, I've been up to like so much, but then also feels like not a lot. I've got to confess, not a lot of gaming, more like taking in a lot of TV. And one of them you'll be happy about because it's something that you've been recommending to me a lot. And now that I've watched, I'm like, oh, totally makes sense. What I'll say is I have been playing Fall Guys. I know I mentioned it last week, but obviously the weekend that just turned over, a lot of other people got access to like kind of like the more openish beta with beta keys. Got to play that with actual like, friends online, and it does elevate the experience. Like, I didn't mind playing like by myself with a bunch of nobodies. I should say nobodies, but no one I knew. Who am I to judge? Just take them down. But it's definitely more fun when you've got someone like streaming, and you can kind of see how everyone's going, and you're seeing who makes it, who doesn't, and yeah, it's been really good. But the only negative that I've so far seen with now it being more accessible to like streamers and just like other players is that there's a lot of trolling. So now people are just loading into the game and just purposely just being shit just so people can't play the game.
Bunch of dicks.
I know, right? And then the second one is I've jumped into a few streams just to see the reaction to the game, and I've seen some streamers take this way too seriously, like way too seriously. Like, I'm not gonna name the streamers, but like one of them was like threatening people, like, because you can show people's usernames, and like, yeah. And I'm like, Jesus wow, Christ. Dude, like this is not that serious. Like,
especially in a beta. Like, it's not even the full release of the game, and they're pissing and moaning. Like, come on now.
Exactly right. So, yeah. So, but like I said, like, I'm really happy that so far the game's been really well received. Like, it was the talk of Twitter, like, especially after the weekend. Like, people were, dropping the game of the year. So, it's very, very soon, and we can all play it with no beta keys and get the full-on experience. And
hell yeah, I got me some beta keys. I'm gonna try and put some time aside to give it a spin this weekend, to get rid of that FOMO, because the world is horny for this game right now. So I need in.
Yeah, everyone needs to try it. Like, well, by the time this probably comes out, it's like close to the release.
It'll be close, yeah.
So, but well, I mean, it's going to be, if you're a PlayStation person, you might be able to benefit. But I still rant and rave and say Fall Guys is amazing. So check it out if you can. Now on to the TV viewing.
Yes.
I'll bring up the first one, which is Castle Rock. Have you ever heard of this show?
Yeah, I know of the stories. Obviously, it's Stephen King jaunt, and it's actually some of the better work of Stephen King realised to screen. I haven't watched the second season of this yet, but I've watched most of the first, and I'm digging it.
So I'm currently watching and almost finished season 2.
Nice.
The reason why I started watching it was my husband was watching season 1, and it was like when I was on my computer and the TV was like there, so I kept on like watching, listening, and paying attention. So I knew like little bits and pieces. So I ended up watching like this massive like YouTube recap, like someone recapped every episode. So then I kind of knew what happened and filled in the gaps, and it was really cool. So I'm watching season 2 now. And I have to confess, I'm not really into Stephen King either. Like I don't, apart from it, I'm really not sure what other like Stephen King like, you know, novel to movie kind of content that I would normally ingest.
It's few and far between, like, and that sucks. Like, I've been a Stephen King tragic since I was a kid. Thanks, Mum, or screw you, Mum, for making me watch some of these things as a young male. But yeah, he's got that consistent style with his writing, but sadly that doesn't always translate to screen. And depending on the budget, it's going to be okay or really bad for the most part. You don't often say that it's really good, and Castle Rock's one of these outliers. Like it with like Doctor Sleep and the most recent sort of It Part 1 and Part 2, or Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, they're some of the best adaptations of his work that have hit the screen ever, in my opinion. I've watched just about every telly movie, every TV series that they've done with Stephen King, and this is up there. Oh, and what was it called? The Stranger, which was another one that came out this past year as well, which was really good too. But Castle Rock's great.
Castle Rock is
digging it.
really, really good. Like, amazing cast. Like, a lot of people, a lot of actors have appeared in like either season or whatever, who have previously been in content of Stephen King. So like Sissy Spacek, yeah, she was in Carrie. Tim Robinson from Shawshank Redemption.
Bill Skarsgård played Pennywise.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just like it's really good. Like, and I feel like a part of me does feel like I'm maybe missing some things. Where if I was a massive Stephen King fan, I'd be like, oh, I know that. Oh, like I get that reference. Or you know, like that, like you know, in Castle Rock, there's like mention of like the Shawshank Redemption, like the prison, like and then just like other things where they make mention of like other little things, and they don't spit like absolutely like blow it up in your face sometimes. Like I feel like it's always like these little like comments, and I feel like if you are a Stephen King fan, then you probably would really, really enjoy this. If I'm not a fan and I enjoyed it, then I'm assuming if you're a diehard fan, then you would love it. So
yeah, and that's one cool thing that King does. Like he's very, very meta and very self-aware, and he's just about every book he's ever written has some kind of breadcrumb or thread connecting to the greater universe. So there is so many bleed overs of character into certain books and things like that. So it's really cool. And like, I can only imagine how hard it would be to stay on top of that kind of stuff as a writer when you've written the amount of books that he has.
I didn't realize
but they all interconnect into this big sort of multiverse, which is sick.
Yeah, that was the other thing that I learnt about him. I didn't realize that Stephen King like literally had this like multiverse and like all these interconnecting like things, and I love that shit. So I think I'm gonna have to actually be a bit more aware on Stephen King stuff, and I don't know, maybe read something, watch something, like I don't know. So I
reckon if you got the time, start reading the Dark Tower series. It's a lot of books.
A movie that flopped?
We don't talk about that movie. That was really badly done. Like Idris Elba, love him, great that he was cast in it, but the movie sucked ass. And like because the movie tanked, because the plan was movie, interconnecting TV series, another movie, another season, and then another movie. So because the books span like 8 books now, like it's tens of thousands of pages all up, I think, when it's all said and done. So they were going to make this big, massive, grand scale, and then because the movie sucked, they just went, yeah, that's it. Move it on.
Well, at least they made Castle Rock. So, like, this series is great. So, surprised me. If anyone else can get access to it, I'm glad to hear that it's accessible in Australia, because I wasn't too sure, like, how you get it. But if you can get it, Castle Rock, you know, check it out. Season 1 was pretty cool. Currently in season 2, and it's pretty wicked. I love it.
Yeah. No, awesome. I'm happy to see some recommendations like that working.
Yeah, well, here's the major one. I finally watched Hannibal. The TV series.
Did you watch all 3 seasons?
No, I literally started it yesterday morning, and I think I'm almost at the end of season 1.
Okay.
You told me so. This TV series is perfect for me. It's my crime dramas mixed in with like my love for the movie Seven. It's like gory, it's gruesome, it's beautifully made. Like there's a very like artistic element to like certain aspects like that they kind of like drop in there, like very like arty kind of like presentations of like certain things, and a lot of like psychological mumbo jumbo and how the mind works, and you know how he's not even a detective, is he? He's a teacher, and he like helps solve these crimes because he has like this.
Yeah, Will Graham. He's got like extreme empathy, they call it. Like it's obviously there's a full scientific name attached to it, but it's so good.
But he's
so good.
like, I just love how he walks into a room and then they're like, give him space, and then he's in this crime scene, and then he literally just like rewinds everything from where it is, and then he plays it back as him, and like he is the killer, and then like what does he say, like that
this is my design,
this is my design, and I'm just like, oh, this is so creepy, I love this shit. And then like a lot of episodes kind of like mingle into each other. There's like, you know, an underlining arc kind of thing that's going on at the moment that kind of, you know, is amazing. The cast is
phenomenal,
really, really good. So you got Mads, good old Mads that we all know in the gaming space as of recently, especially. Lawrence Fishburne was surprising.
Hell yeah,
he's really good in it. Like,
yeah, it's Jack Starling.
Yeah. And only recently in the last few episodes, Gillian Anderson was in it.
Yeah,
and she's gorgeous.
She's phenomenal in this. She has not aged, man.
No.
Seriously, she's not aged since OG X-Files in the 90s.
No, but this, like, I am absolutely like so absorbed into this series. Like I said, it's just like gnarly, gruesome, gory, but then it just has this level of like elegance in the presentation where it's not like we're being like messy and bloody for the sake of it, for the shock value. It's like, no, it like, you know, it has to express to the level of damage that it's doing to the main character that's, you know, currently being like constantly being exposed to the environment and obviously having to like relive these scenarios and analyze them. So it's really intense, but now I can see why. Like, it's like particularly popular around, I guess, certain kind of people. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the best TV series I've ever watched, like, in my entire life. Like, everything you just said, like, the amount of polish this show has, like, it's so artistically done and it's so beautiful, even when it is, like, you know, in, like, innards and guts and stuff everywhere. Like, sort of going the serial killer of the week route to a degree with the show, where they've got all these unique serial killers and the way that they choose and deal with their victims and then how they're portrayed. Like, don't want to go into spoilers because I think part of the reason why this show is so great is just the shock value just keeps coming. Like, you sit there and go, how many creative ways can you have someone kill somebody? And like, after watching Final Destination movies and whatever else, you know, you think it's all done, but then you see some of the things they've come up with in Hannibal, and my goodness gracious, it is
like, I thought this was like HBO because of how gory it is, like how full on it is. Like, I was like, this has to be HBO. So I was quite surprised just to see it was just sitting on Netflix, like ready to go to watch. So, I just also want to say that like Mads playing like Hannibal, like everyone's familiar with that character, so like technically there should be like no surprises to him, but there is something so perfect about the way that Mads plays him. He's such a gentleman, he's charismatic, and like obviously that these are all qualities of Hannibal, but he does it so well, like so convincingly, like, you know, in the back of your head, like, he's a really bad dude, but there's just so many times on the screen where you're just like, yeah, he's, you know, seems like a really decent person. He's, you know, really switched on. Like, you know, you kind of like...
He's got so many layers to his performance with it. Like, he's so charming. But then, because he is a bit of a bigger dude, like, he's sort of imposing in his own way under his probably several $1,000 suits and, you know, perfect pocket chiefs and everything like that. And then the meals he cooks up.
Yes, I felt so uncomfortable because we all know, like, there's like, it's very, very present in the first season of him making meals, especially making these meals for his guests. And it's such a it's such an important quality in the series. Like I feel like they always, you know, make sure to kind of highlight that, like him cooking and presenting a beautiful looking meal. That's the other thing. I felt so disturbed how many times I'm like, oh, that looks delicious, and it's probably someone's guts. So yeah, it's amazing. I know it's taken me quite some time, but I'm probably gonna binge this. It's really, really good.
It's phenomenal. Like 3 seasons got canned due to low ratings, but there's a lot of lot of momentum in the rumor mill where Brian Fuller and the cast are pretty much open to saying we'll do a season 4 if someone's got some appetite for it. And reading between the lines and seeing some stuff out there, Netflix, I think they're trying to get the rights for, because Clarice Starling and her stuff sort of still all tied up with Fox, so that's why there's no direct tying into, say, The Silence of the Lambs. And so they've sort of made Will Graham almost as an equivalent to Clarice Starling that Jodie Foster played in the movie. So they've sort of taken some little nods from that and weaved it in here, but they want to try and do a 4th season. I think it's going to happen, and I'm so excited. They did a table read of this thing again a couple of weeks back during all this COVID stuff, and I think there's going to be a 4th season, and I can't wait because the show is so good. It seriously is one of my favorite shows of all time. So yeah, anyone that hasn't watched it, get on it.
I blame marketing then, because I just assumed I didn't watch it because like I said, I thought it was HBO. So back when it was being released, I probably just thought it wasn't accessible. But yeah, I'm obviously a part of the problem of why the show didn't succeed or get renewed for extra season, so my bad. But
there's just a lot of good TV. That's the hard part. And I guess because this is, like, yes, it's mainstream as far as everyone knows Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal Lecter. It's not something that is for everybody. Like, some of the stuff you see in this would probably make a lot of people feel squeamish and might be a little bit difficult to watch, but anyone that loves good psychological thrillers with a little bit of horror, you know, well written, well shot, cast is perfection. Oh my god, it's just living art, this show. Yeah. So I'm gonna binge that one and definitely recommend it to everyone else. It's on Netflix in America. I don't know if it's in Netflix over there, but keep an eye out. I don't know if it's on Netflix here, but it's on Stan here, or it was on Stan here, you know, start of this year. So I know it's available here locally. Oh, there you go. So and if anyone needs, I think I've still got it on a hard drive somewhere. So if anyone doesn't have those, I'll upload this. I'll upload this onto like Google Drive, and you can get the episodes that way. That's why it failed. You were just handing it out to everyone. So got some of that Hannibal, man. That's what I've been up to. Sadly, didn't get around to Grounded, unfortunately. My time was taken up too much by like TV watching and other things, so my bad. Well, it just so happens I found some time to play a little bit of the single player experience in Grounded, and yes, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids video game form to a T. Like, it is pretty great. But I gotta say, some of these big bugs are pretty scary. Like getting chased by spiders. Holy fucking shit! Do you have did you already have a pre-existing fear of spiders? No, I got no fear of spiders. Like growing up at home, being the only male in the house, and my mum and sister being terrified of spiders, I was the spider guy as a kid. So I'd have to deal with them all the time. So I sort of got used to it. But there's something about being a person that's, 10 millimeters tall in a video game and an orb spider being 20 times the size of yourself and it chasing you, and they don't stop chasing you until you sort of kill it or it kills you. Wow. It's terrifying. It's intense. And I love that they've got this arachnophobia mode in the game as well. So if you are really scared of spiders, you can turn this on and it turns the spiders into these little off-white colored orby things. So it takes that fear out of it. That's so nice. Because I can see people that are terrified of spiders playing this game. I can see it really messing them up because these spiders are fucked. So out of pure curiosity, I did watch maybe a few streams of people playing it. I don't think I saw any spiders, but there are a lot of cute animals, insects in this game. But people were killing them.
like cute little bugs, cute little squishy things. I saw someone try to kill an ant. Like, I think I'm gonna have an issue with this.
Yeah, like there's a lot of sort of passive insects and little creatures running around that you can just cruise by and they'll just keep going on their day to day. But then there's a few, like I only played maybe an hour or so worth just to get a feel for it. And one of the first things you got to do is you're trying to get this little, shrink ray back on track. And there's these 3 lasers and there's these 2 of them aren't working correctly. And you go find the cause of one of these lasers not working. So these little mites chewing on the cables.
Oh.
And they're tiny, like they're smaller than the ants, but they are just hyper aggressive. And the second you get in their field of view, they're coming at you. So you got to use whatever you got on you to kill these little buggers. And they're tough. Like I got killed a few times in this game trying to just cruise around because there isn't really over there is zone 1 that's level 10 or whatever. It's just you're cruising around the backyard and whatever you pop into, like in front of or meet along the way, that's happening. Hence the spider deaths, because the second you sort of you sort of gain you gain aggro on these things, they don't stop chasing you until you kill it or it kills you. So I was running for my life as this young girl named Willow, and then she just got chomped up. But the cool thing is you can go to this sort of scene of your death and grab your backpack of all the collectibles you've grabbed. So you're grabbing a lot of like pebbles, pieces of leaf and plant and whatever else, and then you can combine them to make things. So you can make spears and bows and arrows and torches to light dark areas and stuff, and it goes on through there. But it's such a great concept. It's such a great concept. Like I feel like I'm back in the 90s. Like I feel like I'm a 10-year-old kid again, living Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is really, really like it's a testament to Obsidian for making this. And like it's so different to their usual game style, especially with what they've shown with their big massive RPG last week at the games the game showcase and the Outer Worlds, which is their other most recent entry into the gaming sort of world again. But this it's so fun, and I can't wait to play it with a few friends because I think it's going to take that experience to the next level.
Yeah, so you
having
can push
that
them
shared
in front
panic.
of spiders. Yeah.
You can be the meat shield for this orb spider. Like, but it's real. Like, it's only in early access, obviously, free to play. I was playing on Game Pass, and it's really like it's a good looking game. Like, it's so vibrant, it's colorful. Like, just the sort of strands of grass in front of you. Like, obviously they're standing 10 times your height for the most part and stuff. You are a very little creature in this world, but it's so pretty and it's so cool. And I'm keen to play some more over the weekend because it's got some charm to it, It's so unlike everything I've been playing lately. So I'm keen to jump on and rumble around the backyard with you and see who else is around, because I think that's where the game's really going to take off with I think it's 4-player co-op. So you and 3 friends jump on and try and survive the harshness in the backyard.
Yeah, we'll have to load it up and make some time this week.
Hell yeah. And I finished Ghost of Tsushima this past week as well. I'm not going to sort of dwell on that too much. We're recording the spoiler cast this coming week, so that'll be out shortly after that too. But overall, the game really hooked me in the sort of final act. Like, I sort of, in the middle, I was a bit of a lull patch and I didn't find myself caring much, but in the back end of the game, it really picked up and it really sort of sunk its claws into me. And really, really impressed with what Sucker Punch did, and loved my time with Ghost of Tsushima. And I'm sure everyone else out there's living their best samurai life. And yeah, that's good. And the last one, I played and finished Carrion as well this past week. So I smacked that thing front to back. Little indie gem done by Phobia Games and published by Devolver Digital. They call it a reverse horror game.
Okay.
Which is so you're playing the role of the typical bad monster. So you're this amorphous creature of an unknown origin, it's an alien origin, and the game starts and you're like this creature stuck in a test tube. You break out, and then you just wreak havoc against all the scientists and all the people that have been testing and experimenting on you, and you're trying to escape this facility. And as you go through, you get bigger and you get more abilities, and you can just destroy things in a whole host of ways. But it's really, really great. Like, it's really simple. Like, the pixel art style really lends itself perfectly to the game. The sounds in the game, whether it be the creature, which is very, very agile, like it's up and down around on walls, and you can sort of break it down. You can leave parts of yourself in like piles of water to get through smaller areas. Or with some of your abilities, they're only available when you are either the smaller size or the larger size. So you sort of got to jump between the two depending on areas to get through spaces or open certain locked areas and doors and stuff like that. But it's so cool. It's so fun. It's very quick to play, like as far as just the traversal in the game. The one gripe I did have with it, there's no mini map. And a lot of these tunnels and stuff, like you do have to do some backtracking through these facilities once you get certain abilities to open up these sort of tunnels and ducts. And trying to navigate around them at times, they all blend into the same. So I found myself getting lost a lot. So I'm just like backtracking repeatedly, trying to remember where the Christ this next area or zone was. So that was a little bit of a pain in the ass. But really cool. I really liked as well, they sort of weaved in some story where they sort of flash back to you control one of the scientists, and you actually see what happens when you first discover this creature and sort of its origins and how it came to be as far as being trapped in this laboratory. So I like that they put some little story in there. There's some diversity in the enemies. They start from just being normal scientists to dudes with pistols to people with flamethrowers and shields to then you like trying to take down like big robot mechs and stuff. So there is a little there's a nice curve as far as the enemies that you encounter and the areas you got to try and get through, because you are pretty squishy as this big alien monster. But a lot of heavy nods to The Thing. Anyone that's watched The Thing, especially the OG Thing from the 80s, obviously done by Clive Barker, that's sort of what this almost is, but just picture yourself as playing the thing as opposed to Kurt Russell and his crew. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
really
it looked really, really good. So I'm glad that I can kind of get your opinions off it. I've got to obviously set some time aside to play that one, because it looked like the right elements of like old school, like kind of like, I guess graphically wise, like design wise. But I think the whole playing as the bad guy kind of thing, whatever you call it, like a blob, like
it's pretty much the blob.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks good. I'm glad to hear that you had a positive experience playing it.
Yeah, so. I've been really enjoying my time, and like it's getting a lot of positive reviews. Apparently, it sold like 200,000 copies already since it released. So it's great to see that people have got the appetite for this, and it looks like it's just another win for Devolver. Like we talked about Fall Guys, they're publishing that as well. Like Devolver are just on a run at the moment, and Carrion is cool, and it's just so different to everything that's sort of been coming out the last few months. So, and it's a good game. You can just smack out a little bit, put it down, go back to it, and just run around living your best sort of monster life. Like you are the bad person here or the bad thing, but at the same time, you can understand why you'd be pissed. You've been getting experimented on and you've been stuck in a test tube and whatever else. So obviously you want to get some vengeance for the way you've been treated. So it's really cool. It's really cool. And just some of the noises when you're picking up humans and consuming them to increase your health and whatever else. Like, it's just like real visceral and guttural and like gluggly and stuff like that. And the abilities you get through the game are really cool. Like you've got like echolocation and you can sort of like shoot out a tendril and stuff like that. It's really cool what they do and how they open up those abilities as you level up. But yeah, check out Carrion. I think it's also available for free on Xbox Game Pass, if I remember correct. Don't quote me 110% on that. It is about $20 USD on the old Steam stores, but I'm pretty damn sure it's free on Game Pass. So check that out. And it's also on Nintendo Switch, which would play perfectly on the Switch. They have, I think, changed the image tile for the game because there was a lot of controversy on the Switch because the icon
like
is of the beast. It looks like a big infected vagina. So there was a lot of blow up with that icon there. So I think they've changed that since. But yeah, check out Carrion.
Gross. Infected. It's because he started like infected in there, and I think I saw like screenshots of people posting it going, what did I download? Yeah, like I'm surprised that Nintendo let it slip onto the store. Like obviously it's a very child facing eShop. Like there's a lot of kids that play on the Nintendo Switch and be cruising the Nintendo eShop, and then they just see this big angry red beast. Hopefully they're a little bit more innocent than us.
Yeah, maybe. maybe not. But yeah, I think they've since changed that initial sort of game art for the eShop. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Quick little bit of housekeeping. Episode 7 of the Hungry Game Show is now available over at patreon.com/weare8bit. And as mentioned last week, that saw our man Jamie Penning, friend of the show, tackle Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. Does he rise to the top and take John O'Peck off the top of the throne, or does he fall in line with Salim the Dream at the bottom of the pile? But give that a spin and check it out. $1 gets you early access to the Hungry Game Show as well as the 8-Bit Cast each and every month. But it's going to be releasing in full several days after that on the Hungry Gamers RSS feed as well. So be sure to consume that one. Obviously, all the other hubs, 8bitnation.net, shop8bit.net is our official web store. If you want to rate, review, subscribe us on the iTunes, that would be phenomenal. Those ratings and reviews help keep the emotional lights on in our hearts. And obviously, once you're done checking out our stuff, audiotechnica.com or audiotechnica.com.au to get yourself the best in audio-based equipment. We're talking headphones, microphones, gaming headsets, turntables. You want in-ear, you want over-ear, you want noise cancelling, you want Bluetooth. They got it all. And they've even got those limited edition 8-bit purple M50X headphones, so get them on your melons before they sell out. And also coming up, just to confirm, Friday, August the 28th, we're going to be doing our first community game night of the year. So lock that into your calendar. Haven't confirmed a time. It might be somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m. Australian time over here.
We're
going to be doing our first community game night. That's your bedtime?
I don't know. I actually can't remember what the actual conversion between here and there is, so I'll have to check it out.
I think that time for you might be around 2 or 3 in the morning. I think it's about 3 in the morning. You might wake up at the tail end of it. So
yeah, I wake up early, so I might actually be able to catch the end of it.
Yeah, so the 28th of August, lock that into your calendar. We're going to be playing some games. We're going to be playing a lot of sort of big multiplayer games. So I think the first one we might do a little bit of Jackbox just so we can get as many people involved as we can. Nice and fun. There's no barrier to entry. You don't have to buy the game. We'll be running all that, and we'll do some giveaways and stuff during the night as well. So come along. You can win yourself some swag. You can have a laugh, and you can play some games. But yeah, that's the housekeeping. Shall we tackle some news?
Let's.
This week's news headlines.
All right, the first little banger. Ubisoft and Nintendo are partnering for an animated series adapting the Splinter Cell video game franchise. The stealth game franchise, which has spawned 7 games as well as novels, follows Black Ops agent Sam Fisher. He's been voiced by both Michael Ironside, rest in peace, and Eric Johnson in the games. Derek Kolstad, the writer behind the John Wick movies, will write and executive produce the series. So this is interesting. Like we've been gagging for some more Splinter Cell in game form for quite some time. We don't get that now. We don't get the movie that's been long in the works with apparently Tom Hardy to star as Sam Fisher. Go figure.
What?
But we get a Netflix animated series by Derek Kolstad, who wrote the John Wick movies. So that's kind of cool. What do you reckon?
I don't know. Like it's kind of like a fluff one for me because I think I've only played maybe 2 Splinter Cell games. So for me, it's give no take. But in regards to actually making an animated series that could do well, I don't know. I guess like if it's obviously really well written, depending also, did they display like what the animation style is?
Nah, not that I've seen.
Not that Fortnite kind of looking stuff that they showed at the...
It might, it might be with that game from the Ubisoft Forward event they did.
They could because The Witcher is getting its animated little side spin-off thing, right? So, and that's going to be is it like anime style or is it
anime style? Yep.
Yeah. So maybe they'll do the same for this. But like I said, I've got no horse in this race. I hope it does well because I know a lot of Splinter Cell fans have been waiting for a new game and they'll still be waiting. Yeah,
I'm with you. I enjoy the franchise, but it's very much a franchise to me that if you've played a Splinter Cell game, you've played all the Splinter Cell games. The concept and the game loop is pretty consistent as far as skulking around, using your night vision goggles, attacking from the shadows, fighting a big bad guy, maybe unearthing a government conspiracy, saving a family member at the end, you know?
The usual. I think
Yeah.
the first one I actually played is it Double Agent? Is that
Double
what it's
Agent,
called?
yeah.
Yeah, so obviously I actually technically didn't get the right experience for the first one. So, but yeah. I mean, for the fans, I hope it goes well, because nothing's worse than, you know, having your franchise kind of like just beaten to death, especially, you know. So fingers crossed.
But yeah, Netflix are hungry as hell for this stuff. Like they've got this on the way. Obviously, they've renewed Castlevania for a fourth season. I think it is now, isn't it? They're up to the fourth season of Castlevania, if I remember right. On the back of that too, they've got obviously the second season of mainline Witcher. They've got the anime spin-off, and then they've also confirmed they've now greenlit a 6-episode prequel spin-off that's going to be filmed with real actors again. So it's going to be
That's
proper
right.
actors as opposed to another animated offshoot. So they've got 3 different sort of Witcher arcs going on at the moment on Netflix. It's
really
bonkers.
it went really well. Let's fucking milk that shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so that's cool. That's cool. Hyperscape is the next little quick banger. So that's Ubisoft's sci-fi flavored entry into the increasingly busy free-to-play Battle Royale market. It's had been in open beta on PC since the middle of this month. We'll be launching on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC on August the 11th. And Season 1 will apparently feature its own story arc, limited time modes, new tools, and a 100-tier battle pass. Obviously, you can earn these battle passes and items and tools via in-game play and in-game currency, or you can microtransact your way to the top. But yeah, Hyperscape. We've talked about this. I don't think we probably need to go too heavy on the game itself. Ready Player One Battle Royale is the way I see this damn game.
Yeah. A Battle Royale that has a background story, which is, you know... Oh, no, well, we did say that Apex is very much the same, so...
Yeah.
Scrap that. But yeah, I've watched enough of it, but there's really been nothing to draw me in, so...
Yeah, it's not sort of pressing my buttons. Like, I want to play a few games of it, but it is not anywhere near even the middle of my priority list as far as games I've got to tackle yet. So I'll get around to giving it a crack. Maybe by then the meta's changed and I'm just going to be even worse. But no, good luck to Ubisoft and everyone involved in getting this game out there, and hopefully a player base is established so it can carve its own little space out in the Battle Royale market. But we'll see. These BR games come and go very quickly, so we'll see what happens with Hyperscape. But I guess going full circle to the start of what we've been playing, Fall Guys, which a lot of people are touting as potentially one of the biggest games of 2020, has been confirmed as it's going to be part of the PS Plus games for August. So the game comes out August the 4th. And it's going to be included for anyone that's got the PS Plus membership. You're going to get that game for free. So I think that's going to put this game in a big spot to pop off real early.
Can I say I'm a little bit shocked because, like, this feels like a Microsoft, like, title. Like, this feels like something, you know, that Xbox would have jumped on, thrown on the Game Pass, you know? So I'm really surprised that PlayStation jumped on it.
Yeah, it took me by surprise too. Like, it's... I think you summed it up perfectly. Like, it is very much something you'd see Xbox doing. They're very pro-consumer these days, especially with Game Pass. But, Fall Guys having that exclusivity through PC and then PlayStation 4 only, it sets Sony up to have a nice spike here, because what have people got to lose? Like, they don't have to buy the game if they've got the membership. So I think this game's going to pop off and really become something as far as one of the next big free-to-play titles. It depends on the longevity. Obviously, I'm hearing a lot of repetition as far as the courses and stuff, which can sort of get pretty long in the tooth fairly quickly, but it's still cool. And jumping on, playing with friends, trying to be the very best. Sign me up.
Yeah. No, and, like... It's funny because, like, I've been playing it on PC, and I've actually been playing it purposefully with an Xbox controller. It just feels right as well. So, but I'm just happy that, like, someone has actually taken on board, either, you know, PlayStation Plus or Xbox Game Pass. Either one is a good grab for Fall Guys. Oh, Fallout Boys. Yeah.
Great band, especially their early stuff. Oh, come on now.
I wasn't really into it, but that's, I guess, a story for another day.
But yeah, Fall Guys coming out August the 4th. So it's coming out this coming week and free in the PS Plus. Like, this game is going to go boom. Like, I cannot wait to see the concurrent player base of this week once it's sort of out into the ether. And yeah, because everyone's all about this life. And yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, well, like, just in perspective, they've actually shown that they were up there with a lot of the Twitch streamers. Like, they were up there with, like, Fortnite and Call of Duty, which is quite big. So, you know, hopefully the momentum. It's definitely a streamer's game, the fact of, like, how many players you can get in there, so...
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, shifting gears. Superstar gamer Tyler Ninja Blevins sets a course for Hollywood. The world's #1 live streamer who has a direct line to tens of millions of rabid fans is negotiating a massive deal, revealing his plans to conquer the rest of entertainment. We're talking movies, voice acting, cartoons. I'm looking at everything. And that last part's a direct quote from Ninja himself. So he's maximizing on that name and that brand awareness while he can. Power to the bloke. What do you reckon? You in? You're going to be watching these Ninja movies?
Oh, hell no. It's just more surprising. Like, I'm wondering, because, like, he does have a fashion line. Like, or was it a fashion line or just a shoe line? I think, like, I know he had released a shoe, right? Mm-hmm. And they sold out within, like, minutes, seconds, or whatever. Like, it was crazy how quickly they sold out. But have you seen him at the, like, New Year's Eve or whatever it was, like, in Times Square, where he tried to floss in front of an audience?
Oh yeah, he's not a guy that's going to command the attention on the screen, that's for sure. Like, he's not going to come in and steal scenes. Like, he's just like, I don't want to sort of typecast him and just say he's that generic awkward gamer guy, but like on the screen, yeah, that's kind of like how he is. And I'm not going to poo-poo his achievements and the name and the brand he's built, but just because you can have a go at these things, it doesn't mean you should, or it doesn't mean you're going to succeed. Like, yeah, I think voice acting in cartoons is probably a smart way to do it, because then it's just him, you know, delivering lines as opposed to trying to sell a scene in a film or a TV show. So maybe stick to stuff that you can do behind the camera, in my opinion.
I definitely think this is going to be like an interesting, like, you know, kind of like looking in and seeing how, you know, being massive on one platform and how it translates onto other platforms. Because that's obviously what these, like, marketing execs have actually done. They've said, okay, he's got, like, God knows how many kids watching him. We can turn that into dollars. Like, and yeah, like you said, if he just does, like, a cartoon voice or a guest appearance, like he was on The Masked Singer, you know, over here.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
It was bad, but...
I hate that show. Just off topic, I hate that show. It's such a dumb concept.
It's such a dumb concept, but sometimes I really like watching it and trying to figure out the clues.
Yeah, I can't do it. The Australian version has got, like, the host from Play School from 1993 to 1994 and stuff. It's like all these has-beens that you wouldn't even know from the back of your mind anyway. Like, ugh, anyway.
But back on track with Ninja, like, he is being smart because, like, we don't know how long, like, you know, being a streamer, you know, how long that has in it. And he's like, he's already, well, has he already reached his peak? So you kind of need to, you kind of need to be smart with your decisions in the future. You can't just keep on riding that wave until it completely fizzles out for him. So, but just, yeah, whether this is going to translate over, he's going to find out.
Yeah, like, you got to diversify, I think, and kudos to him for having a crack and seeing if there's anything else that might help maintain that brand long term. Because, yeah, as you said, he's not going to be the top dog streamer for the next 50 years or whatever else. So you got to think of your future. I'm just curious to see where he eventually ends up signing, because no doubt from the streaming side of it, like, he's still a free agent, for lack there of a better term. Is he going to end up signing with YouTube, or is Twitch going to throw him a big bucket of cash, and is he going to go back there, or is he going to try this Facebook gaming thing? Is he going to jump on a couple of these alleged new up-and-coming streaming platforms that are sort of getting a little bit of traction? Where's he going to land? But I like that it's sort of like him and Dr. Disrespect both racing to be the first streamer to sort of crack Hollywood, because they're doing a TV show about him already, Dr. Disrespect. I can't remember if it was tied into, like, if it was signed on with Netflix, or it's one of the streaming services, but they're going to do a show with Dr. Disrespect in it. And I know that was all signed on the line like several months back now. So
a cartoon, 100%. Like I can definitely see a cartoon with Dr. Disrespect. Like, easy.
They should just take the piss and do like a lighthearted G.I. Joe cartoon version with him in it.
But like, maybe, like, you know how it's kind of like this style to kind of be self-aware and mocking in a lot of like current age cartoons. I can see that, and that's what his character is. It's kind of like a mockery of, like, you know, the macho kind of, you know, dude bro kind of. Is it superhero, kung fu master, action
He's
guy?
a bit of everything,
you know. So I can definitely see that translate into a cartoon. But hey, we don't know what the fuck's happening with Dr. Disrespect at the moment. So guy might be in jail for all we know.
Yeah, all we know is he ain't ever going back to Twitch. That's the only certainty it seems.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll see what happens with old Guy Beam and Tyler Blevins.
Guy Beam.
Yeah, all right. The next one, this was hot off the press. This popped just as I was about to get some shut-eye last night. Battletoads release date has been announced. Microsoft has announced that Battletoads will be available on Xbox Game Pass or to purchase on Xbox One and PC on the 20th of August, 2020. So this month, 2.5 weeks away now, this game's coming out. The release date was revealed on Xbox Wire alongside a brand new trailer, and it shows more of the game that brings back Zit, Rash, and Pimple for the first time in 26 years. This newest Battletoads adventure is being developed by Delilah Studios and is supported by series creator Rare. This trailer was something. Holy Jesus. It felt like a 90s acid trip cartoon. It was so great.
Yeah, that was the wild thing, is when I clicked on it, I was like, wait, are they announcing a game or a cartoon? But then when I saw like the gameplay and the fighting in it, like, it really brought me back to these like old school, like, is it Sierra? Yeah, like that kind of style game where it was like really detailed cartoon video game. So it kind of took me back. Also, I love how they just kind of dropped this, like, yep, few weeks, boom, it's yours.
It was awesome. Timing was perfect. And I love these little guerrilla marketing things that studios or people in just general media do these days. You don't need a long build up of 2 years or whatever to an announcement. It's proven that if this franchise has got some emotional hooks in it, like, people will be there day one. And knowing that this is dropping in 2.5 weeks, like, I'm curious to know how difficult it's going to be, because that's one of the things from the original Battletoads game. There was levels in that which were some of the hardest levels I've ever played in any video game. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, get some Battletoads into you. It felt like I was watching something from like Ren and Stimpy era Nickelodeon. That's what I was vibing watching this trailer. But it looks cool. And Ed, and Eddie. Yeah, very much that sort of vein. And 3-player local couch co-op. Hell yeah. I'm hoping they're going to do, obviously, online co-op with friends as well. Especially with COVID, you can't have people around. But yeah, it's cool. And it's nice to see that the franchise is getting treated with some respect by Delilah Studios and obviously Rare's in the back end, making sure it's done in the right tone and the right level of detail as well. So yeah, a couple of weeks this comes out. Free on Game Pass. Ooh yeah.
Nice.
Ooh yeah. The last little banger, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has allegedly been leaked by a Doritos marketing campaign. Data miners were already knocking on the red door. Cold War's leaked internal alpha test. But now it seems there's another leak in the COD Black Ops Cold War ship. This time courtesy of what is reported to be a Doritos marketing campaign. If the promotional launch is anything to go by, it also intimates? That's a weird word. Intimates.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right, does it? Is that we're learning a new word today?
It also implies a potential release window of October 2020, which fits into Activision's typical Call of Duty annual release window quite nicely. The competition's small print reveals that the campaign kicks off on the 5th of October, which is leading some to speculate that this might be the formal release date of the game. So Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War just rolls off the tongue. My goodness gracious me. But yeah, like it seems that the stars are aligning that this is the next big COD game. It's crazy that we haven't heard any. Like if this game's coming out in 2 months and we still haven't received an announcement trailer or anything concrete, like it's bonkers. But I guess we were just talking about the lack of need for long-term marketing. So
but
yeah, maybe.
Sucks though, because then I guess with these major franchises, if they do try to attempt to do something more along the lines of, you know, kind of just guerrilla drop, there you go, here's our game, they are susceptible to these kind of things where, you know, leaks and whatnot. So, and the fact that it was Doritos, like,
oh yeah, I love me some Doritos.
It's so gold that it was like a Doritos packet that like gave away like what the name. Well, is I mean, people. There's been no like confirmation, I don't think, from like official sources. But I mean, how do you fake a Doritos packet? So, yeah. I mean, hopefully it's not like a half game kind of thing, like half game release or something. Like hopefully there's something big. Like, yeah,
like I'm curious if it's going to be like the most recent versions where they're releasing the multiplayer as the sole focus, you know, and there is no single player. Like, are they going to keep going down that route, or are they going to go back to what made this franchise pretty special in the first place and have a nice, meaty, action-packed, drama-laden single player campaign with a beautiful piece of multiplayer trapped on the back of this thing too? But I don't know. I'm very much off the COD wagon. I haven't even played Warzone still. I played a little bit of the Modern Warfare remasters and things like that, but yeah, I haven't played much COD. I'm too old. I don't want to say I'm too old for this, but it just doesn't excite me the way it used to, and that's a shame because I love these games.
It's a shame. So you haven't played Warzone at all?
Nope,
not
one
like
game.
Warzone is the closest like you could get to PUBG, just more refined. So, like, you know, if you ever want that, like, kind of PUBG vibe, but not, you know, putting up with the crap, I feel like you should just jump into Warzone and get a feel for it.
I know I need to play it at least a handful of times
just
so I can form an opinion.
Least,
yeah. I will eventually. Now I've finished a couple of the big boy games I've been working on. Got some time to diversify my gaming portfolio and have a sprinkling of these little ones. So maybe I'll find some time to play a couple of games of Warzone and maybe Rage and then just turn it off.
If not, someone in the community can, like, you know, carry you through a
Carry
round or
two.
Carry Brendan to greatness.
What do they call the wins? What is it when you win a game of Warzone? Like not a chicken dinner.
So, I don't know. All I know is that you jump into a helicopter.
Yeah, the golden gulag.
And then they do like credits, which is pretty unique.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Someone help me roll them credits.
Yeah.
Please. But yeah, October the 5th, the rumored date for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Let's see. No doubt it's going to sell like hotcakes anyway. Who are we kidding?
Yeah,
like,
regardless.
This game, it could be the same Call of Duty over and over again with a new hat, and people would still buy it. Like,
but she has a new hat.
All right, the last little banger, and this comes directly from the Twitter sphere, and that handle was @Halo, and it simply says, Halo is for everyone. We can confirm #Halo Infinite Multiplayer will be free to play and will support 120 FPS on Xbox Series X. More details will be shared later! ! So, boom. I guess this was an immediate reaction to people poo-pooing the graphical fidelity or lack thereof on the big Infinite showcase at the Xbox Game Showcase.
Aww.
So now they've sort of said, stick it up your ass, haters, because multiplayer is going to be free to play for people that want to get on this Halo Infinite life. So this is pretty good.
It's good.
Cool.
It's good. It's a good announcement, but the comments, it's still pretty bad on that post. There's people saying, "Oh, that explains the shitty graphics because you're putting us into a multiplayer map," and then other people are saying, "Oh, free to play. So that means microtransactions. So, whether that's the truth or not, but yeah.
Oh, there will be microtransactions, because no doubt that they're going to double down more on the character customization route, and you can have your special helmets and shoulder pads and different chest plates and legs and gun skins and all that stuff. And it makes sense. Like, this game would have cost an absolute bomb to make, so they need to try and recoup that money somehow. And if they're tossing this in as a free-to-play option, for one, people shouldn't be complaining because it's costing them nothing. Like, all it's costing them is their time to play the game. Like, pull your fucking heads in. But yes, there will be no doubt some Halo loot arc boxes or whatever they're going to call them. They'll be there. 100% they'll be there. But
oh yeah,
it's still cool. It's still a big gesture from 343 and Microsoft for one of their premium titles to say the multiplayer is free to play. Like, that's something you won't really see too often from a big AAA.
Yeah, although maybe it will become the norm.
The norm, yeah. Yeah, by the single player experience, the multiplayer is a free bolt on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pick your battle arena. All right. And the last bit of news, it's a bit of a deeper cut, and this is around Marvel Avengers' most recent July war table. And this article itself comes via Matt Wales at Eurogamer. A little bit of wording here, so strap in. I'll try and punch through as quick as I can. Crystal Dynamics has shared details of its substantial Marvel's Avengers beta, which will be playable across 3 weekends next month, starting on August the 7th, and has offered a glimpse of the game's first post-launch hero, Hawkeye, in its latest developer video. There looks to be a lot for players to sink their teeth into come August beta, starting with the 25-minute Golden Gate demo sequence that serves as an introduction to combat and traversal, giving players a chance to test out various hero-specific combos, heroics, and moves, and culminates with a boss battle against Taskmaster. With that out of the way, the beta will then open up to offer 2 single-player hero stages, and later a selection of missions that can be played either solo or cooperatively. One hero mission sees Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, and Hulk traveling to the dense forests of the American Pacific Northwest, where players get a taste of Hulk's destructive capabilities. And the second unfolds in the frozen Russian tundra, where an encounter with Abomination awaits. Once those are complete, players will be granted free access to 4 different heroes, Kamala Khan, Iron Man, Hulk, and Black Widow, for use in a selection of co-op missions for up to 4 players. There are harm holographic augmented reality machine room challenges set in a virtual training simulator where players confront waves of increasingly difficult enemies, plus a number of online Warzone missions and their brisker drop zone counterparts. Crystal Dynamics notes that it'll be possible to earn gear and XP during the beta, the latter of which can be used to upgrade a portion of each hero's skill tree. And there's also a special nameplate up for grabs that can be carried over to the main game. The Avengers beta season will be spread across 3 weekends, starting on August the 7th. The first weekend, running from the 7th to the 9th, will be exclusive to those that pre-order the game on PlayStation 4, while the second, August the 14th through the 16th, is for those who have pre-ordered on PC and Xbox One. The final beta weekend, to be held from August 21st to 23rd, is open to everyone on all platforms. August beta is said to feature more than 20 single-player and co-op missions in total. And obviously, we mentioned at the end, there was a very brief glimpse of Hawkeye, the first of many new heroes coming to the game post-launch, who will arrive with his own story mission chain that can be played either cooperatively or solo. So I got to say, this presentation is just about the best presentation I've seen all year as far as things going digital and doing these little mini sort of updates and showcases. This was perfect from front to back. It ran for about 17 minutes or so, and it was just bam, bam, bam. Here's news, here's stuff that's coming out, here's some gameplay, this is what you're doing. It was perfect from front to back.
That's funny because I got bored with it and kind of skipped past.
Boo.
I guess it's like, to be fair, I've never really had an interest in this game anyway. The reason why I did watch it was because they mentioned Hawkeye being put into it. And so I was like, well, now I have to see what's going on. Yeah, still nothing really fascinates me too much. There's a lot of things that are making me think that this is also going to be like a microtransaction-filled game. Trying to get you to buy like season packs and whatnot to unlock more and more characters. But yeah, nothing about it really drew me in. To
Well,
be
if
fair, it
you-
never had me at the start.
If you watch the whole movie, you would have seen that they did mention that there's a lot of characters coming out post-launch, and they're included free. So
So there's free ones.
There's
so
free
did you
ones.
notice how they said that they have to specifically say that these ones are free?
yeah, but they didn't also say that. Like, I reckon there'll be micros to the skins. I reckon that because you see, like you saw Hulk running around in like a mafia suit and stuff like that. Like, there's so many skins, and I think that's where they're going to be stinging you. It's going to be
True.
very, very tiered levels of skins with commons, rares, and whatever else. I think that's where they're going to get you. Maybe they might hide some characters behind a paywall, but the way that I interpret it is all the characters at this stage, or at least for this first wave, and it looked like there might have been about 6 after the game's release, after the core characters of, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, so on, they'll be free. Maybe they'll get you afterwards with some additional stuff, but it sounds like at least the first wave's free.
So I think so. Like, the way that I can see them going about it is the way that they said this group is free. I could see them kind of doing like a Smash Brothers thing where you can buy a season pass and then they'll release like new characters every, so many weeks or so many months. So, maybe that's the angle that they'll go with it. Like, I don't doubt that there was a vibe from it where it's like, okay, tell us about when you're going to charge us extra after the initial purchase. Like, that was the lingering thing that was sitting over my head. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how relevant my point of view is. Like I said, I've never really had an interest in this game from the start. Watching it, I'm still kind of like, I don't have any desire to play it. It just doesn't look like my kind of game. No, it just doesn't look like my kind of game at all. So, I guess take whatever I say with a grain of salt, because this is coming from a perspective of a person that's not interested. So, yeah, like I do appreciate that in making this, they didn't feel pressured to kind of like get too deep into the movie universe, and that they, kind of stuck true. And that's obviously why I checked out Hawkeye, because they did make mention that a lot of the, design qualities they took from Matt Faction's comic book series of Hawkeye, which is great. If you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. Check it out. So to see him kind of like with this short little buzz cut kind of looking thing, but still with a lot of characteristics of the design of the character that Matt Faction had, I do appreciate that this is coming from a comic book standpoint as opposed to a successful movie franchise, kind of angle. So, but
I really like how they're focused on that, and they've emphasized that in these war tables where they are saying we're taking inspiration from this comic book arc or from this storyline, as opposed to trying to say this is Robert Downey Jr. in video game form. Like, I like that they're very true to the source material, and I don't know, this trailer it looks so much better than when I played the demo last year at PAX, that Golden Gate demo, which everyone's going to get a crack at in this beta. But it looks so cool, and the polish and the combat, and I like that you can, obviously, the way that you design these characters, you can have Hulk play a certain way, and you've got your skill trees and your abilities, so your Hulk could be different to my Hulk when we're playing together online and stuff. So I like that you can build your little squad of 4 to sort of work out and mask strengths and weaknesses. And you've got, your flying characters, you've got your traversal characters like Black Widow with the grappling, hook she was sort of scooting around with. And then you've got your heavier grounded characters. Iron Man in the Hulkbuster armor too. That looks like a bucket of fun. And it just looks really nice. And all those doubts I think I started to have when this game was first announced, they seem to be slowly but surely fading away. Like, it could be a bit of a poo on release still, but it looks so good.
I mean, this was the game, right, that actually did catch a lot of flack for people's playing it and saying it does not look good. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they got, took that information and that critique and said, we need to fix this up. So, and it looks like they did. It does look good. But I don't see it for me.
The combat looks sick. Like, just the different ways you can play, and just the destruction, and when you're running as Big Hulk, obviously you run a rough shot through everything. But just seeing Miss Marvel and how she can sort of increase her size and she's picking up enemies and slamming them down and whatever else. It just looks so damn cool. And now I'm already starting to think of like what other characters are going to be in that edition. I'm feeling for sure Black Panther's going to be one of them. I think for sure he'll be there. Maybe someone like a Scarlet Witch. Do we get Spider-Man? Do they have? Probably not because of the Sony rights. Maybe Sony will be a bit prickly about that. But yeah, so many options. Is Captain Marvel going to be one? Does it get too confusing then with a Captain Marvel and a Miss Marvel? I don't know. But it would make sense for her to be in there, right?
I mean, it would. I don't see why they wouldn't do it just purely for a namesake.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I'm keen as a bean for this. And I like that they've got this sort of 3-week-long beta session going on. So if you pre-order on the PlayStation, you're going to get it first. If you're on PC and Xbox One, you'll get it the following week. And then the week after, everybody plays. So, yeah, get keen. I can't wait. And, like, that beta thing, that's next weekend. PlayStation 4. I just realized, I'm like, holy crap, it's August now. Like, my goodness gracious
August
me. God, send help. Send help. Yeah. Anyway, that's the news. Shall we tackle some new releases?
Let's do it.
New releases and events.
Alrighty. We've got a good smattering of stuff coming out this week, but I guess the two biggest ones from my opinion, and I'd say one of these two biggest ones probably from your opinion too, on August the 4th, obviously Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout dropping on the PlayStation 4 and the PC. As we mentioned earlier, it's going to be free via PS Plus for PlayStation 4 users. The other one to highlight, Horizon Zero Dawn lands on the PC on August the 7th as well. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I'm just like looking at this list here, and now I'm really curious about Fast and the Furious Crossroads. What that is.
It's a not good. It's a not good. Yeah, that's It looks pretty rough. So we'll see how that plays out.
This is absolutely foreign to me, but like any game that's going to be centered around the Fast and Furious universe, I could just imagine the cheese.
It pretty much looks like Burnout, but with Fast and the Furious characters thrown into it. Like, it's just big destruction and everything like that.
Like Vin Diesel's head really badly designed.
Oh my God, yeah.
That'd be great.
Old Dom.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, get on that Fallout, guys, PlayStation 4 and PC users. And then anyone that hasn't played Horizon Zero Dawn and you're a PC master racer, now is the time. Get amongst that. One of my favorite games of all time, and well worth the investment. But yeah, like Brawlhalla drops on the smartphones, on the iOS and the Android on August the 6th as well.
That's right.
All right, let's move into this.
Tweet of the week.
And this tweet comes via way of Isabel at Animal Crossing, and it's an announcement. From this month, weekly fireworks shows begin in August. You can visit other players' islands in a dream. There is island backup and restoration. And this is all part of the Animal Crossing New Horizons summer update. Wave 2 lights up the sky from the 30th of the 7th. So some of this is live now. Luna is a new character that meets you and haunts you in your dreams. I don't really know how to interpret that. She's just this weird little anteater girl that, you know, stands above you while you're sleeping. Like, it's some bizarre stuff. But is this... I want to put this in here because you're the biggest Animal Crossing fan that I know. Is this wanting to draw you back in, or are you kind of like, okay, cool, where you at with this?
I'll go check it out. Like, I want to see, like, you know, what it's like, what's the changes. I want to know what this bloody trip fest that you know, tripping balls and stuff, like in this dreamscape thing that they've kind of released. But yeah, I'll go in and check it out. I don't know what's the probability of it, like, you know, bringing me back to the stage where I dropped whatever 500 hours or whatever into it. So
goodness gracious,
it's bad, man. So
yeah, truth be told, I saw like some people doing some tweets with the Animal Crossing Dreamscape thing. I thought it was fake. I thought it was like a meme doing the rounds. I didn't see the trailer until last night, so I saw all these people like, you know, come invade my dreams or come to my dreams or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what's this new sort of joke that I've completely missed the mark on? And then I saw this trailer and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I don't really know what happens in the dreams. Like,
No.
do you just lay on the bed together or something? Like, is it getting weird and creepy like that? Is Animal Crossing starting to get a bit creepy?
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, deep down, Animal Crossing's creepy. There's like a lot of creepy stuff that goes on like underneath that, you know, or that people kind of find out. So, but the dream sequence stuff, like, I mean, it just looks trippy more than anything. So
Hell yeah. But like for an update, that and then like fireworks shows, I'm like, you could have done a bit more Animal Crossing. Like,
new
you've
furniture,
seen one set of fireworks, you've seen them all, you know?
Give us new shit.
Yeah. And the island backup and restoration. I don't really know what that entails. Like backup, I'm guessing you can save it, and if you wanted to nuke your island, you could start. I don't know.
Nuke
And
your
sadly, I don't care. I wish I cared. I was all about Animal Crossing for a hot minute. Now I'm just like, I just want to go fight ants and spiders in Grounded.
It's fair.
All right. The last bit of news, or the last part of this podcast, I should say, and fingers crossed the bite works properly this time.
You've got mail. Mail.
Chuck Fresh. He's in a dream sequence right now. So this question of the week comes via way of @Spawny13, our boy Benny, and he says, if any cartoon from your childhood could be remade as a Netflix series, which one would it be and why? So sending out this question into the ether, some of the responses we've received. Nicholas Pryor says Street Sharks. Jamie Penning says Wacky Races. Dane Peavy says Real Monsters. Rock Mummy comes at us with Gargoyles. Pez with Angry Beavers. And Matt Tilby with The Tick. But he's also said, I know we've had a live action reboot recently, but a moodier cartoon, The Tick, would be dope. Have you got any feedback or thoughts you want to throw at some of those suggestions that were sent our way?
Wacky Races is probably like my favorite like recommendation because I can see that. Like I actually read Benny's question as like, if it was a cartoon that you grew up with and it's going onto Netflix, it's going to be live action. So like seeing like a live action Wacky Races and the way that they did it, like how each episode like someone gets cut kind of thing, or like someone comes first, like I could see that, and I just think it could be really fun, really cute and really fun. I like that. I
just picture that if we went live action, what was that one that Goldberg, was it called Bull Rush, where they race across the country and then got cut out? It'd be like that, just with people using weapons and stuff in their little cars. I think it was called Bull Rush.
There was a movie called Cannonball Run, wasn't there?
Oh, Cannonball Run's a good, that's probably more apt. That's probably a better comparison, actually. That makes a bit more sense. But yeah, I'd watch the hell out of some Wacky Races.
100%. And Gargoyles.
Gargoyles was so great.
Yeah.
It was one of those more moodier cartoons.
Yeah, it definitely was. But I can see like if Gargoyles went live action, like there'd probably be a lot of like people questioning their like sexuality and attraction, because like there'd probably be like some kind of like sexiness to the gargoyles if they were like live action.
Yeah, some of them were big staunch gargoyle.
Yeah.
Humanoid creaturey things, yeah.
I'm attracted to concrete.
Because it gets me hard.
It gets me hard?
Gets us both hard. I don't know. Real Monsters, I love that show. Ickis and Crime especially were two of my favourite cartoon characters as a kid.
Mm-hmm. That would be creepy.
Yeah, but just thinking too, like obviously they did the Rocco's Modern Life movie thing last year.
I still haven't watched it.
And it just totally missed the mark for me. Maybe just because I am no longer 10 years old or whatever. So I'm worried with a lot of these shows that we love from when we were kids, if they'd translate or if they'd just be kind of like, oh yeah, cool, no worries. Kind of wish they didn't do that. But Street Sharks, Dino Riders, stuff like that. Like I love those shows. I just don't know how they translate.
I can tell you that like from my experience being a fan of Gem and the Holograms, that when, you know, some freaking company decides to remake a cartoon from, you know, your childhood that you treasure, they really know how to fuck that up badly.
See, I don't want that.
I don't want that. Like, I didn't want that. I think the fan base wanted it, but what they did is they went, let's take something from like, I'm not 100% certain what age I was when I watched it, but let's take something from long ago and let's like try to make it like Nickelodeon candy bot. It was really, really bad. It was really, really bad. It was really disappointing. They just completely just removed everything that made Gem and the Holograms great. So
that's a shame. That's a
It
shame.
really is.
Well, what would you like to see reimagined as a Netflix series? So obviously you interpret it as live action, but you could keep it as cartoon or anime or whatever you wanted to. But where do you plant your flag?
I'd really like to see, like, I tried to think about things that I grew up with, like, really, like, when I was really, really young, and how, like, Netflix could take something that I watched when I was a little kid and kind of just saw it as cute, and then now making it for the adult version of me. And the one that I thought about was, like, Baba. You know, the one about the elephant?
The elephant, the little king elephant in his green suit.
Yeah. And he's like a king or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like, you know.
I love
or
me some
prince.
Baba.
But the thing is that it actually has like super political undertones, French colonization, like kind of like undertones to it. So I could see them taking something that was like a cute show about a prince elephant, whatever, and then like making it this story about like really dark political times. Like,
yeah, and it's crazy, all those things that as a kid it completely goes over your head. All these serious undertones and themes that they're actually trying to hit directly or indirectly. Like you just see it as, this is just a cute little elephant with a suit and a crown on, and you know, it's roaming around with his African friends. But yeah, then the tone behind it when you watch it all, you're like, oh shit, okay,
yeah.
How did I miss this?
I think with Baba, like I think even where it kind of came from originally also showed that. So yeah, so I just think that could be like the best translation of like, hey, this is cute as a kid. Now that I'm an adult, here's a very dark political kind of drama series. So
yeah,
I don't know if it'd still be elephants though.
Who knows? You could put in any kind of animal, really, couldn't you?
Yeah. Well, it's more like, do I do live action elephant-y kind of stuff, like what's that
Jungle
movie?
Book?
Like Jungle Book, or do you just make everyone human in it? I don't know. What about you? What do you want to see?
I've gone with a bit of a deep pull here, and I've gone with Skeleton Warriors. I don't know if many people would know of this show. It only aired for a single season back in the mid-90s, but it was an absolute banger, and it was probably a bit too dark for kids' television in the mornings. Like, it literally like a skeleton army versus, you know, the good human army, set on the distant planet of Luminaire, and they're fighting over this light star crystal. The Baron Dark, he's the main big bad in there. He wanted to grab the crystal to gain control over all the power and enslave everyone on Luminaire, and the the good guys, the Legion of Light, are fighting against them. But absolute belter of a show. It
looks really like dark for a kids show. Like, was that meant to be a kids show? Like, it looks like a toy commercial, which a lot of our cartoons did growing up. So, but I've never heard of this. I'm
curious to know who has heard of this one, because it was only ran for a single season. I had some of these toys, and the toys were sick. Like, especially this, like the skeleton warrior side, like the bad guy side. The toys were so good. Like, there was a dude that was like, had multiple arms and stuff. Like, he had 4 arms and he like was wielding 4 swords and things. Like, so good.
I can't believe this one like missed me. And it has like an epic, like heavy metal intro, which is usually something we were privy to have as kids growing up. Shout out to Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I could see that translate. Like, it'd be pretty badass, like having like skeleton armies.
Even make it a bit darker.
Yeah.
I think of even like if it's going to be done in real life, I could think of like Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness, which is more of the lighter toned comedic version of those movies. That's what this would be in like real life shot as opposed to cartoon. And Jennifer Hale voices people in this, who, you know, is one of the stalwarts of the voice acting community, especially for gaming and cartoons. So Skeleton Warriors is where I'm at. I just want to know if anyone else knows or have heard of this show. Get at me on them socials if you have.
Yeah.
That's been episode 204, Miss Hart. Is there anything else you want to say before we pack this sucker up for another week?
Yes, season 2 of Umbrella Academy starts today.
Yes. Can't wait. Heard good things already from people that somehow have binged most of it. Saw on the socials last night, everyone's like, all positive
Bloody
stuff.
hell,
So.
people get lives.
Yeah. And
go watch 2 people talking on a podcast.
About binging shows and whatnot.
Video games and whatnot, yeah.
Don't judge us. But yeah, this has been episode 204 of the Hungry Gamers podcast. Thanks to each and every one of you for stopping on by, giving us a listen. Give us a rating and subscription because those things mean the world to us. But until next week, when episode 205 hits town, much love.
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.
Banana Man. That'd be another good one.
Oh, Banana Man.
Yeah.
Super Ted.
Ted.
Perfect.